Welcome to the tip channel. That is perfection.
Hello and welcome back to the tip channel. Today we're going to talk about putting in a dishwasher. Now this is fairly simplistic. I think you'll be able to handle this on your own. We're going to have to address 4 different things. Number 1 is supply line. Second one is the drain hose. Number 3 is the electrical connection. And the 4th is how it is attached to either the countertop or the cabinets. So we'll take you step by step through those. Now, material-wise, even though you may have a steel braided line on your dishwasher, I do suggest to swap it out. The reason being is that there are rubber washers at each end of that can wear out. So while you're doing it, go ahead and change that out. Now, you'll have 3 different options. One is just a standard 8-foot line. This will come with different connectors depending upon the dishwasher that you're using. Connections will be slightly different. The second one is what is referred to as a defender. Now the defender basically, it has a little valve on it, so it senses if there's a burst. In other words, if this line bursts or if something under the dishwasher bursts, and it's not just a drip, but it's like a full gusher, this thing will automatically shut the water off. So it is a nice upgrade. And then your third option is going to be a supply line, again with the fittings, and it's going to come with an electrical cord. Now you can also buy these electrical cords separate. Now, what is the electrical cord for? Well, today's code requires that you put a GFCI outlet underneath of the sink and then plug the dishwasher into it, so that if a technician needs to work on the dishwasher, he reaches right under and unplugs it. Now, the old days, and I can say that, I'm old, so in the old days, what we did was bring the wire out underneath of the dishwasher and hooked it straight into the dishwasher. So, do you need to follow code? If you're not new construction, if you're not like an addition where inspectors are looking at, you don't have to it. I am going to put mine in because it wouldn't be perfection if I didn't. So first of all, metal box. Naturally, I prefer metal. You're putting things underneath of the sink waste that's getting beat around and what have you. So you want to make it tough. So metal junction box, a metal cover, and then naturally your outlet. We are going to cover that as well. All right, to get this party started, what we need to do first of all is to shut the water line off. After we have that done, we actually want to start the dishwasher. The reason being is that's going to release the pressure that's inside of the line between your shutoff valve and your dishwasher. Also, you'll be able to fill the line if the valve's not holding and water's still going into the dishwasher. Once you've done that, what you want to do is press cancel and drain, and actually that'll drain any water inside of the dishwasher. Next up, we want to shut the breaker off. After the breaker shut off, we then want to disconnect the supply line underneath of the sink and also to disconnect the drain line under the sink. After those are done, we're going to want to take the front toe kick panel off of the dishwasher. Right behind of that is going to be the junction box where the electrical connection is made. Now, before you get into the electrical connection, do yourself a favor and hit the start button again on the dishwasher. You will make sure the power's off. So go ahead and remove the junction box cover and disconnect the electrical. The last thing is, in my case, I have 2 screws going into the countertop. We'll remove those 2 screws. If you have a granite countertop, the newer dishwashers are made with areas on the side. There'll be a little plug probably you'll have to pop off, and you can actually take and screw right into your cabinet. Now, I do suggest using stainless screws. Again, you're always going to have water around here, so things don't get rusty. Stainless is your best bet. After we have everything disconnected, the electrical, the water, the drain, now we're ready to actually slide the dishwasher out. Now, you want to be careful. You'll probably need to guide your supply line and drain line through the cabinet to the dishwasher cavity. Okay, At this point, you're probably going to have to take a break because you know your wife's going to want to clean underneath of there. If this is a lady installing, I don't mean any disrespect. Okay, we'll wait till that gets clean and then we'll go ahead and start the installation of the new unit. At this point, we have our Romex ran inside of our cabinet and we have our junction box set so that we are ready to install our ground fault circuit interrupter. That's why people refer to it as a GFCI. Anyways, we've got that into the cabinet, and as you look at the back of the outlet, what you're going to see is you're going to see line and you're going to see load. Now think of it like this. Your electric power lines are bringing power to your home. And if you have something hooked up, that's pulling a load. Okay, so this outlet, your feed is always supposed to go on your line. Now, if something was downstream of that you wanted to protect it, that would be your load. Now, in the dishwasher case, normally it is a dedicated circuit, meaning a single circuit coming from the panel box right to the dishwasher. Okay, so your hookup, you want to be on the line, not on the load. Okay. In regards to the wire, if you buy the Eaton brand, you'll see that there's a nice little area where you can stick the wire right down in and tighten it up. So you can leave it straight. If you choose to bend it around your screw, keep this in mind. You want to bend it around your screw so that as you're tightening, it's pulling on that wire instead of loosening it. And you also want to make sure that there's no insulation underneath of the screw. Your next thing is that the black wire needs to be on the brass, your white wire needs to be on the chrome, and your ground wire needs to be on the green screw. Now, you can run BX if you want to, which is a protective cable. You could use a piece of Greenfield. In my particular case, I had a piece of Liquid Tight left over, and I slipped it around the Romex just to protect that a little bit. So, I want to point out a couple things about the dishwashers. Back in the old days, and here we go, back in the old days, we used to have to take the drain hose, go high inside the sink base, and then come back down to the trap. The reason being is that created a trap for the dishwasher so that none of the odors and what have you, say for instance from some food or what have you that might be in the line, doesn't actually come up into your trap and into your sink. Today's dishwasher is a little different. Now, if you see a piece of hose coming up on your dishwasher and back down, that's not made to be removed. That's actually doing the trap for you. Get into the higher end dishwashers, you'll notice a little tank on the side, and again, that's a little trap. So you don't have to worry about doing that loop the way you used to in the old days. So at this point, our electric is done, and now we're ready to hook up everything to the dishwasher itself. Now, it's a little difficult working down inside of that little toe kick area. So what I normally do is I take the dishwasher and I set it on its back, and then I'll go ahead and hook everything up, upright it, slide it back into place while naturally putting all my lines through into the sink base. With the dishwasher laid over on its back, we're now ready to hook up the electrical connections. Now, you may not have a junction box like mine that has the screws for your wires to go underneath of. It may just be wires where you're going to need some wire nuts to hook it up. Now, in regards to your wiring, you want black to black, that's your hot. You want white to white, that's your neutral. And your green, typically, there may be a wire or there may be a green screw that you wrap it around, tighten them down. Make sure they're nice and tight. You don't want something coming loose. And you can put your cover back on that. Now, the water line, I've chosen to use a Defender. Now, I want to point out one thing about the Defender before I forget. Whenever you go to turn your water on, turn it on very, very slow. As I mentioned, the Defender is made to detect a burst. So if you turn it on too fast, it's going to trip the Defender. Now, to reset the Defender is not a big deal. Basically, you shut the valve back off, you loosen up the Defender, and then you reconnect it again. That resets the Defender valve. Now, most of your water hookups are going to be right in the front as well. And they're going to look like a hose bit. Now, keeping in mind That's a plastic fitting. So the last thing you want to do is get that cross threaded, or you're going to end up trying to find a new fitting. So what I normally do is I take my fitting and I turn it backwards. So leftly loosely, rightly tightly. I turn it backwards, and if you've done a lot of mechanic work, you'll feel what I'm talking about. At a certain point, you'll feel it go, and then you know it's at that starting point, and then start it on. So it should spin on really easy. If it starts to spin on too tight, you know you've got it cross-threaded. All right, so we're using the piece that looks like a hose bib. So this looks just like your outside faucet. With most of your dishwasher hookups, that piece comes with it, so it connects to that plastic piece, and then the other end hooks up to your supply line. In regards to the drain hose, it typically is going to come with your dishwasher. So you're going to connect it up as well, and they typically give you this little spring clamp. And why the automotive industry and the appliance industry uses those instead of giving you a radiator clamp, I don't know, but those are always a pain in the butt. All right, so with your drain hose, your water supply, and your cord, you're now ready to go ahead and slide this back in and hook it up. Now, leveling, some units will have a screw that goes from the front all the way to the back, which adjusts the back legs. What I normally do is try to adjust it first by measuring, and then I will slide it back in, see if I need to do more adjustment, pull it out and adjust it as necessary. Now, in regards to anchoring it, if you're going to screw into the countertop, you're going to get these two little clips and you look at them and say, how do these go on? I'll show that to you. So they go right into the slot, and if they're too long, you can actually break them off a little bit. But they go right into the slot, and they'll go right into your countertop. Now, if you've got a granite top, you naturally can't screw up into the granite. So the newer dishwashers are made with an access hole where you can put screws right into the side of your cabinet. So we'll show you that. With the unit slid back into place and all leveled up and screwed to the countertop, now it's time to go ahead and hook up the supply line, hook up the drain line. I prefer a radiator clamp. Plug the unit in. Now go turn the breaker on, and depending upon the outlet that you purchase, you may need to hit the reset button in order to get it started. At this point, turn the valve on very slowly so you don't trip the defender if you use that, and go ahead and run the dishwasher through a cycle. After that's complete, make sure there's no water underneath the dishwasher from any leaks, and you can go ahead and put your toe kick panel back on. And you're complete. I hope that you found this informative, and if you did, please take just a second to like and subscribe. It really does help out our channel. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.